just sitting here warming by the fire, enjoying the Yuletide, you're probably here for this week's Marketing Matters. And we thank you for that. Welcome to episode 30 of Marketing Matters. Marketing Matters is, of course, our weekly web series here at OneSEO, where we talk about all things IT and digital marketing. Big news stories from the week before, just kind of things going on in the industry. We're excited to be here. We have a giggly bunch today.
We're just so excited to be on the show as a collective M&M group.
Yes. So, for introductions, Nikki Violi, who is usually behind the camera, she helps produce this entire show. So she's in front of the camera, a little different angle today. I'm also joined by Rachel Lawler, who is our PR specialist here at OneSEO. And this is our holiday episode. There may be a special guest in a little bit, but we don't hold us to that. We don't know yet. But yeah, so Marketing Matters, this is episode 30. Just a quick heads up, this is the last Marketing Matters episode of 2017. It's been a good year. We thank you for everybody who, first we thank everybody that tuned in last week. We hit 10K, over 10K views, 10,000, which is a big milestone for us. That's our personal best. So we appreciate everyone that checked out last week's episode. But yeah, there will be no episode next week as the physical office at OneSEO will be closed. Everyone will be working from home, but no one wants to see Marketing Matters from my couch. So there won't be an episode next Thursday.
Before we move on though, I just, on behalf of like the production part of Marketing Matters, and we really appreciate it because 10,000 is a huge milestone coming from what Marketing Matters was. And so working behind the scenes, it's really exciting to see, Lance and Anthony and all the different guests we have and all, the effects that we can do and what we have done with our sets. So I know I'm looking forward to the future of 2018 Marketing Matters, and
me as well.
We're excited to see where it goes.
Seriously, yeah. No, I mean, it was a fun episode all around. We're at the Wells Fargo. We were all there, so it was a really good time. But it was a big milestone, so we appreciate the love. Also, speaking of appreciating love, we want to thank everybody that came out to our holiday party. I know that some people, the weather wasn't perfect, so some people weren't able to make it, but we appreciate everyone that came out. Big shout out to all of our clients, our friends, our family, our supporters. It was a great time. We got a ton of presents, as you probably have seen on our social media, which was awesome for people that came in and donated all the gifts. And then also handing out the scholarship that Lance hands out every year, which is awesome. So it was a really good time, and we thank you. And just in general, as the year comes to a close, I know Lance is saying it over and over again, but we just want to thank everybody for a great year. It was fun, and we're ready for 2018.
Yeah,
so, and shouts to Rachel and Sarah for throwing the party.
For real.
Because they were the masterminds behind the entire thing.
It was the best. It was one of my personal bests. So.
It was awesome.
2018, I'm going to top it.
It was a very good time. Moving in, so this week's Marketing Matters is kind of a cool one because since we're at the end of the year, we can kind of do a little bit of a year review / looking ahead. The future of marketing is so open-ended because there's so much, A, it moves so fast, and B, there's just so much that can be done, and we'll kind of get to some creative things. But one of the coolest topics of the week was brought to my attention by Nikki, who is a huge Netflix watcher.
Yeah.
And that is sort of, I guess, the article that you had sent me was relating to a blog that Netflix put out, basically saying kind of how they use customer data, customer behavior to personalize your Netflix experience. And it's really interesting. So one of the biggest examples, I guess, that they showcased was Stranger Things, which is an incredible show. Rachel doesn't watch it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't watch it yet.
You keep saying that, but you need to get on it.
I know.
Watch it twice, though. The first time through, I wasn't a huge fan. Second time through, it was awesome.
Yet.
Yeah, but Stranger Things, perfect example. Netflix actually created 9 different variations of the cover, the little tile, the thumbnail image that you see as the show on Netflix, and they swapped them out based on basically what you like to watch and what you've been watching. Right. So, Rachel, why don't you explain? I mean, you've never seen the show, but you get the icon, so you've seen, what did you say, the bottom, middle?
Yeah, so I've seen the middle, the bottom middle, and the bottom right, and apparently the bottom middle one is because I watch rom-coms, which if you know me, that's the least surprising thing about me, is that I'm all about the rom-coms. So, and I mean, that's even true though, like when I'm scrolling through especially now, like the Hallmark Christmas movies, I judge a book by its cover because I'm like, oh, they look cute, let me watch the Hallmark movie. Right. So I think it's funny knowing that now because to me that does look like a romantic thing, and I mean,
yeah, I mean, for Netflix, especially with me, whenever I'm looking for a new show to binge, I actually look at this title card. So if
me too.
if it speaks to me in a certain way, I'm more likely to click it and start watching it and give it a chance. I've gotten the middle top, the middle middle, and then the bottom right. So
I think the
I
middle
like
top,
a lot of horror.
I got the middle top. I think that's like one of the more common ones.
Yeah.
I got the top right because I guess I also like a lot of horror. But it's just so the concept. Stranger Things is just one example that for Netflix originals, I assume they have a lot more flexibility with adding 9, whereas with a movie that's been out for 15 years, like The Grinch, that's probably just going to be the cover of The Grinch. Like that's what it is.
But like still the best movie.
Well,
it's a great movie.
Still the best movie.
Jim Carrey's prime.
Yeah, such a good one.
But real quick, Nikki, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah,
we saw the example with Pulp Fiction, though.
Yeah,
which
that
is
was where I was getting to. Yeah,
exactly. Which is an older movie, and I think they did it with John Travolta and
Uma Thurman.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think what's cool about that is I think if you know Pulp Fiction, you think of Uma Thurman. But if you like John Travolta, say you watch a lot of Grease,
me,
you might not get the title card with Uma Thurman. You might get something with John Travolta. And they even said that the picture that they used for that isn't like a huge scene, but if you like John Travolta, you're most likely going to click it because John Travolta. He's also a great person. Not that I know him in person.
You guys have a first name, Pete.
Yeah,
he's great. Yeah,
you and JT.
John.
And really, like,
John.
So, like, the theory behind it is just to interest you in things that we were talking before, but, you know, things that you might not have been interested in before. Even if you might not like it, they kind of want to make you think.
They want you to, they want you to think that you like it so that you click it and you watch it.
It's even just, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, Netflix doesn't make more money off of us watching more shows. So it's an interesting concept, but they obviously want to offer a really great experience, and they want you to keep watching Netflix. Because if you're in the middle of a show, guess what you're not doing? You're not going to cancel your Netflix at the end of the month because you're in the middle of a show. So, like, there's next month. Exactly. And then they get you with another show, and then
that's the point I was going to make, is that, like, even though Netflix isn't making money with, you know, they're not getting new business, it's all about, like, retention. Yeah. So, you know, if they're constantly having you coming there instead of Xfinity or instead of Hulu because it's constantly giving you more options, it's all about customer retention. And even that, 9 times out of 10, is just as important as getting those new leads, as getting those new customers, because you don't want, with all of these, you know, streaming services, the YouTube Fire Stick we were talking about and things like that, or Amazon Fire, I'm not really sure what it is, I'm a Netflix person.
I think Fire Stick.
But, like,
that's
you have, you have so many options now, and I think it's a really innovative way for Netflix to think about their customer retention instead of just getting more business.
Right. And I think they're doing a really good job just because I think Netflix is at, like, what is it, $8 now?
I think it depends on the like the type of
whatever that is. I think that's just
like
people don't even look at it.
No, it's like Planet Fitness.
I pay it every month, and I'm like,
you have $10. It doesn't matter if you go there or not.
Like you're not going to get rid of Netflix. Like you need it basically. So
yeah, and I mean, I even have I have Xfinity, and if you are on the Netflix app, and if you don't watch it for a while, like I've turned my TV off, and when I turn my TV back on, I usually have this middle one as like it's like a screensaver. So then once I click in, like I'll get to like go into my account and everything. So I think that's cool that they're using these title cards as the screensavers too, to remind you about the show.
Right. But it's just so this is a perfect segue into our next topic. But it really talks about how like it's a little like they're definitely watching what we're doing. They're definitely watching if you're stopping a show. Like Sarah, like you mentioned, you stopped watching a show halfway through the first episode. Like I'm sure that they probably won't feed you things like that in the future. But like they're definitely watching our behavior. It's something so simple. Like we always compare like whether Google's looking at what we're searching or Amazon's looking at what we're buying, but like even Netflix is looking at what we're watching and how we're watching it.
Well, I mean, even
to change the experience.
Yeah, they have the different titles because you watched this, because you watched Scary Movie 3, because you watched the, you know.
They're getting eerily good at it.
Yeah,
I mean, I think AI is insane.
Rachel, that is the segue of the year.
Perfect.
Every time that like our SEO team or even just us, we like mess around and share stories about AI, I'm like shook about it. I think artificial intelligence is absolutely insane. It's just amazing what technology can do.
Yeah. A coworker of ours that used to work here, Pat, was our resident tinfoil hat enthusiast. So it was the stories that Rachel's referring to are us just kind of sitting around talking about how crazy the world's getting. But so just a couple of examples, like, everyone knows, like, AI comes in a lot of different forms, and it's been here for years, especially with the search industry. Like, just little things like the autocomplete when you start typing on Google, like, a lot of that is artificial because it's based on what you've searched in the past. Like, if you ask a question and you don't get the answer that you were looking for, and you rephrase the question a little bit, like, you're going to have, basically, the autocomplete's going to have other questions that pertain to that topic now. And Google will know not to serve you the results that you just got because they obviously didn't answer your query the first time. So, like, little things like that come into play with AI, and that's all Google's RankBrain, which is their big AI sort of algorithm powerhouse. But little things like that. And now we're seeing it a lot with even more obvious things, like the chat bots. Like Whole Foods, I was chatting with their bot yesterday for that screenshot. Whole Foods has a chat bot. Staples, Nike, like Wendy's, whatever you want, like they're all utilizing artificial intelligence in these chatbots because obviously they can't answer everybody that wants to joke around and mess with them on Messenger.
Exactly.
But it's really coming into swing of things, and I'll tell a quick story and then I'll open it up to discussion. But we were all talking about it before, but some people probably know it's kind of an older story. In 2012, in the town of Minneapolis, there was a dad who saw a flyer from Target that came to his house, and it was for his daughter, who was in high school. She was 15, and it was geared towards like maternity products. Like it had things that you would buy when you're having a baby. And he went to the Target with the flyer in his hand, and he yelled at the manager, "Why would you send this to my daughter? She's in high school. Are you encouraging her to get pregnant?" Like blah blah blah. Obviously, the manager had nothing to say because he doesn't send those flyers.
Right.
But a week later, the manager called back, and the dad actually apologized and said, "Apparently, my daughter's been doing things that I didn't know about, and she's due in August." So the moral of the story is, well, how could Target find out that this girl was pregnant before she even had time to tell her parents? And it's all with big data and AI. And
literally insane.
Yeah.
AI is nuts.
And this was 5 years ago.
Right.
Which goes to say, and it's not like, well, she bought a crib and she bought diapers. Because those are obvious trigger points. Like, I'm sure every company out there has these obvious trigger points. We see it all the time with recently purchased or you bought this, these would go what nicely with that. That's the obvious thing. But it's little things like she started to buy more vitamins than normal, or maybe she bought a bag that's bigger and that can hold diapers, or little things like that come into play. And if you hit X number of products, you fall into a group of, hey, you might be pregnant, and that's and we're at an extreme level of that now, like a really extreme level.
Like even you say people were looking up symptoms.
Yeah, so that's Bing was doing this with, I think, Brown University, where exactly what you said. They're basically taking, if you're logged in, of course, similar to Google, they're basically taking your searches throughout the course of time, a year, 2 years, whatever it might be, and sort of compiling them together to see what might be wrong with you. So
that's so scary.
It's scary. It's scary, but say you search for the query. It's
like
very
we
scary.
gotta search it. I'm shook.
Say
so
you
shook
search
about
for
AI.
I can't stop coughing, and then
So shook about AI.
And then 3 months later, you're searching for, what to do with for lower back pain, what to do for this, or I'm having trouble sleeping, or I can't sleep all night. They add up all these weird search queries and search terms together and figure out that they're actually symptoms for something that might be bigger. So, like, the idea behind it was you search for all this over the course of 12 months. Hey, you should get checked for pancreatic cancer because these are all symptoms. You've shown symptoms over the last 12 months for pancreatic cancer. Like you said, it's incredibly scary.
Scary.
Google has a weird similar thing with the "Are you depressed?" type thing, but you can kind of see it. It goes two ways. A, it's a weird invasion of privacy, and B, could save lives.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a weird concept, but.
Well, I'll look at my cough and let y'all know.
Yeah, Google.
Well,
Yeah, Google what's going on with you.
Sinus infection.
But
Holiday party.
That's never what's going to be at the top, though. It's always like the most detrimental.
I know.
thing.
But the point I'm trying to make is like AI can go in so many ways, and AI is going to be incorporated in not only search but marketing in general in so many ways that before we know it, we're all going to be in these buckets where, like, Facebook is a perfect example of how well they can determine everything about us. It's not only based on the obvious things, like we just said, like you liked a video or you commented on a photo. It's the little things, like you watched this video more than this one, so now we're going to start to show you more videos like that one. like that's one of the theories behind why they introduced the autoplay.
And I think even like if you going a step further, if you click into it, if you open the
Right.
video,
Right.
I know even with the auto sound, like if you click the sound and now you listen to it, if you watch longer than 3 seconds, I know the Facebook algorithm, it counts of you as watching
3 seconds.
I think a video for at least 3 seconds. So if you watch 3, 5, 10, and then you can even segment your analytics even more by saying like who watched it for 10 seconds or longer.
Right.
So it's really going off of the AI. It's really just insane how like much data they can offer you. We were talking about that last week with you, Lance and Scott were talking about it with the emails.
Right.
Like it's insane with the farther we get and progress with this like AI world, the more data we get, and that's just insane in itself.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
No, and Facebook like could do so much with this if you think about it. Like, I mean, obviously from an advertising perspective, you've got an incredible range of how specific you can get with what you target.
Right.
But it's really bonkers, and they could. The whole theory is that they predicted the election basically before it even happened.
Right.
Because whether you're public about what you believe in and what you're going to vote for, like Facebook, the majority of people aren't. But just based on what you do and things that you've liked, they could predict basically the entire election.
Yeah.
There's a great study. We'll have to link to it. And this is me going off on a tangent, but there's a phenomenal study that talks about this concept of homophily, which is this theory that birds of a feather flock together, right? Like if you're smart, you typically hang out with smart people. If you're an athlete, you typically hang out with athletes, whatever. And they did this whole study. It's really good, and they tried to find the 5 factors that incorporate.
The birds and planes!
There he is. I told you there will be a special
guest.
I heard Rachel was dying there with water.
She needs that. She's coughing up a storm. What's going on?
Merry
welcome.
Christmas, happy holidays, everybody. We'll all say Merry Christmas again, I heard. Is that true?
That's
It's
true.
true.
Okay, just want to make
Yeah, we're
sure.
all Christmased out.
Okay.
Came at the perfect time, right in AI, future AI and search. But my point was, with the homophily, this whole theory that birds of a feather flock together, there was a study done with Facebook, and they tried to find the 5 factors that the smart people, like smartest people, can do on Facebook that are all the same. And one of the 5 things was they all liked this page that was just curly fries. That's all it was. They liked curly fries.
Wait, that's amazing.
And it was this weird thing. Well, why would that be a factor? Why are all these people with high IQs? Why have they all liked this one page? And it was the birds of a feather. That the theory is there's probably in the very beginning a guy that was really smart started that page just for fun. He's friends with other smart people because that's homophily. That's the theory. So they all started to like it. Then all they're smart, friends with smart people. They start to like it. It just goes on and on. But it's this weird concept, and it relates all the way back to Facebook and what we were talking about with AI and how everything you do, whether you actually make an action or not, whether you just read a post or you spend more time on a video, that's all going to come into play with what gets served to you over time.
Telling you.
Got a little scientific there,
It's amazing.
off the beaten
Mind's
path.
blown.
But
I'm trying to think why I'm friends with all my friends now.
Well,
and-
Like, like what's the like
that's
what's
a broad question
Well, that's
right
the
there,
the
Rachel.
connection?
I don't even know what the percentage of your newsfeed that actually gets shown. It's like 15% or 10% or something like that. But that's why, like your newsfeed would go on forever and ever if you saw everything every friend that posts. But you only see things from friends that you interact with and that you are interested in.
It's
So
the algorithm. It's the more someone interacts, engages, shares, the more Facebook is going to serve you that post, whether it's an ad or organic.
Right.
Correct.
So
It's all
even
AI
that
driven.
algorithm is all about that AI.
So, speaking of the future, the only reason why I included this is because we finally have an announcement. After 7 years of this being rumored and talked about it, Magic Leap is a company, it's a startup that Google has backed significantly over the years. But they announced their actual product, they showed it, and the only reason why I wanted to mention it is because it does have some implications for marketing in general. Like it's AR, it's VR. You can see a person in front of you, you can see a pair of shoes in front of you. But the Magic Leap is like incredibly realistic as opposed to sort of the cartoony type thing that we have now. It's very, very real.
It's huge for retail.
It's huge for retail.
People don't understand how big this is for retail. It's going to, it's going to cut employee costs because you're going to have people greet you now at the front this way, get your message out to them.
Right.
It's going to be interactive. It's going to understand you talking back. It's going to be able to answer a series of questions based on artificial intelligence. So, I mean, it's actually, I almost say it starts going down that Terminator road. That's where it's heading.
Well, that's what we were talking about.
Robots,
Where
man.
yeah. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Like Home Depot is one of the people that are working with them, and you can kind of visualize what decorations would look like in your yard. Like that's insane. And then, well, I like that. I'm going to buy them now.
Yeah.
So there's your connection to retail. But it's really cool. I slipped this one in. It's actually not on the rundown, just because I'm excited about it, and it's probably going to be $5,000. But it's got a release launch date of 2018, so we're excited after 7 years. The other thing, and this was one of Facebook's announcements this week, was just that they're incorporating facial recognition on a larger scale. And Rachel, you brought to my attention, well, they've done this before. Like if I take a photo of us four, it'll say like, is this Lance Bachman, is this Nicky Violi? But now they're doing it to where, just on a large scale across Facebook, where you might be in all these untagged photos and you're going to get a notification that says you're in these photos. The reason why it's really interesting is, okay, say you're at a concert at Wells Fargo and you're in the front row and the concert takes a picture of you. They take a picture of the 20 people in the front row. Facebook knows who you are. Now you get ads for Wells Fargo. Now you get ads. You're not even tagged in that photo. You don't even know who took the photo, but now you can be in ads because you were there before. You were in Wells Fargo. They know that you were there. So it's pretty...
Well, they know what type of music you like also. So let's just say, I mean, there's going to be a stretch. Is Jay-Z and P. Diddy like the same type of people? Do they sing the same music?
Genre.
Rap.
Same genre.
Yeah, rap.
So I go to a Jay-Z concert, boom, you snap my picture, all of a sudden they see it, now they're serving me up StubHub ads for P. Diddy concerts.
Now you're at
Based
Puff,
on, and you don't know
Puff
why.
Daddy.
Puff
Does he
Daddy.
sing? Is it P. Diddy or Puff Daddy?
There's-
Yeah, same person.
You want to
Just
know,
name
know
changes.
how terrible it is? The only reason I know those two people is because J-Lo is one of the most beautiful women in the world, and P. Diddy used to date her, and Beyonce is beautiful, and Jay-Z dates her.
And we're going to be in a bidding war with P. Diddy when Montecito tries to buy the Carolina Panthers. We're going to be going
I
back
did
and
see
forth.
it. It's the only reason I know those two people. I couldn't tell you one song they sing.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But it's just it's a really, like Facebook obviously does their whole, show where we're not planning to use this for advertising, but I think it's just so obvious, right? Like they have all these photos with people in them that aren't tagged and they don't know that they were taken. Like, why wouldn't you go
It's
that
going to
far?
get more grainy when people tag customers at places of things that they like.
Right.
Also, they'll start remarking you other things. It's going to be artificial intelligence, face recognition, voice recognition. All this stuff is going to get more and more advanced, and a lot of people aren't going to be able to keep up
And
with
even like, so there was one of the comments, so I can't take credit for this, but one of the comments on the article was like, they already do so many things with just pictures in general, like recognizing that you're holding a Monster can.
Mm-hmm.
So why not, even photos that you are tagged in, things that you're holding, market, well now you're holding, a Monster, so we're going to hit you with Monster advertising.
Or Red Bulls trying to get you to switch.
Or Red Bull, yeah. So we're open to
Red Bull
sponsorships
team.
for marketing.
Red Bull.
You're the team Red Bull?
Yeah.
I'm Team Red Bull.
Yo,
Sugar-free.
guys.
Sugar-free.
Well, I didn't drink sugar, man. Listen, I'm a little overweight. Got to hit the gym. A little sugar-free.
I like that. I like the Blue Monster.
Yeah.
Blue Monster, I think, is the best
They're
Monster.
good.
But it doesn't taste good with vodka. Red Bull does taste good
Yeah.
with vodka.
I can't
Monster's
do that
awful with
anymore.
vodka.
Yeah, Monster's terrible.
I can't
Red
drink
Bull
Red Bull
vodka's
vodkas
dangerous.
anymore.
I think Rocket Star. What's that? What's the drink with Rocket
Oh,
Star?
Rockstar.
Oh, that's terrible at
Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah.
And that's like you get shot out of a cannon. I mean,
Knocks you out, keeps you going at the same time.
Deceased.
But so this one, I'll let Nikki kind of talk about it a little bit because she brought it to my attention.
Let's go, Violi.
There's just been a feud.
Yeah, there's a feud. I mean, it's been going on for a while with YouTube pulling all of their apps from the Fire Stick and stuff. So I thought this story was, interesting just because Amazon's now buying domain names. They're kind of planning on doing their own type of YouTube. So they've been buying domains like AmazonTube and OpenTube,
Weird
yeah.
things.
So they have stuff, in the plan. I guess we're just gonna have to stick around and find out.
and the other big player that's
It
going to
is.
come with this is going to be Comcast. Is coming out with their own TV channel, and Disney's coming out with
Disney,
their own
right.
TV channel. So really, what they're going to start fighting for is distribution of the video content that they can actually put articles and ads on that too. So they
Right.
want to control the shows you watch for
Right.
commercials.
Exactly.
And it's like this whole feud has been going on for months. It's really
Right.
petty. Like YouTube
Yeah.
basically took their YouTube app, off of the Echo Show, which is a screen. Like
Right.
you want to watch videos on it. Like you can't watch YouTube videos on
Right.
any Amazon devices because they.
But
they
you
took
can
it
go
off.
download it, correct? I got told you could download it.
You can. So one of the ways you can do it is go into like Firefox, like a browser, then go to YouTube.com
Correct.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I think it's just the extra step. But like, it's just this whole back and forth. Then they put it back, then they took it off again.
Yeah.
But because it's public information and people have nothing to do but just watch what Amazon's every move, they saw that they filed trademarks the other day for Amazon Tube,
Right.
OpenTube.
Yeah.
They bought all the domains for those, both of which are really bad names.
Right.
Like
I mean, I would hope
horrendous
that they
bad.
find something better than Amazon Tube.
But if anyone
just
could
a
pull it
mouthful.
off, like they obviously have the resources.
Right.
They obviously, we've seen them go from a company that sells textbooks to a company that sells anything you want and lets delivery people into your house. I think that they could pull it off. It's just
Right.
going to be, how do you steal market share from like, everybody that wants to try to compete?
Who just bought Target? Give me 1 second here. It just came out. It just broke. What did
I don't know.
Hold on 1 second here. It just broke.
Sold.
Nah, it just broke here. Give me one thing here.
I love Target.
Target, hold on.
No, you're not going to do the voice search.
All right.
He's like, nah.
Target bought someone or got into it, but as this loads. All right, give me a minute here.
Live.
Live. This is the problem with live.
Hey, we're pulling back the curtain today. We're transparent.
Okay, you guys keep going while I'm waiting for
Well,
this to
speaking
pull
of,
up.
I was going to say right after this, speaking of acquisitions, Disney buying Fox, their sort of sub networks, on all their local sports channels and all that, but they're kind of going to be this huge powerhouse with when they go to plan to launch
Correct.
their streaming
Right.
service in 2019, I believe, is their sort of
Target bought
estimated.
CVS.
Yeah, Target bought. Hold on
Like,
here.
like my pharmacy CVS?
No, so Target.
Oh, I did know that.
They bought CBS.
My dad was talking to me about that. Well, their CVS is like.
So they just announced they're going to be buying delivery stores and grocery stores to get into the food shipping business to catch up with Amazon and Walmart. And if you remember, we were on the show about a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And I think Andrew Smith, who was probably smoking a pound of weed before he came on the show, I actually said Target's going to jump into this arena.
Yeah.
It's the retail space.
Yeah, and Target has a pretty loyal customer base, I feel like.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
me.
But yeah, no, that's also like we talked the day after Amazon bought Whole Foods. You know, and we went
Right.
into how delivery is.
The why,
Yeah. So yeah, all big things. But I think Amazon could do it. It's just going to be a matter of, like you said, we got Disney, we got Netflix, Hulu,
Right.
YouTube has YouTube TV. Amazon would have their own. Like it's going to be what can I do as a company to incentivize people to come? Like, how am I going to separate myself from
It's not
everybody
that
else?
they're gonna have to pay actors, big actors,
Right.
the money to do series, and series is what's get people
Yeah.
to your. So no different. HBO really hit a home run with Sopranos. It's
Right.
like set HBO over the top. Then
Top
Showtime or was it Stars came out with Spartacus, if you remember it.
Mhm.
That series that really started making. So like these,
Game of Thrones.
you know, and then Game of Thrones. So then think about Amazon. Netflix came out with the cocaine dude, Pablo Escobar. Narcos.
Narcos, Stranger Things.
Yeah, so they're just producing now, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Amazon had like Band of Brothers, if you remember their one
Yeah.
series. So I mean, that's where they make their money on getting those people to drive the traffic to watch
Right.
their platforms. to
That's
go
a
on.
great point because you do see like even Facebook has their little watch thing, and you see that they're making moves on like TBS and like weird, like trying to scoop
Right.
up the people that. And Netflix is putting $7 billion into content next year, so
Yep.
like it's.
I heard Facebook's going to do the same exact thing, try and create their own miniseries
Right.
you can
Yeah.
watch right on Facebook, keeping you right on Facebook.
Right.
Speaking of miniseries that you can watch on Facebook,
Yeah.
Market
Every
Matters.
week?
It matters every week.
Every Thursday.
Had to plug it.
Well, we were even talking about with YouTube because YouTube, it's like amateur content. You know, you have your influencers, but then
Right.
you have people like Joe Schmo who uploads his singing videos every week. You know, so I think it's just how these other platforms are going to now compete with YouTube because people go to YouTube for like personal videos.
Right.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, right, and it's going to be not only like where the series and stuff are, but for the user created content,
Yeah, right.
where
User-created
today,
content,
because
I
they're a lot of people are stuck on YouTube. They put all their videos on YouTube. Are
Exactly.
they going to start to put it on another platform, things like that? But
Even thinking just from influencers, you know.
Either way,
Sarah,
the-
we were talking about makeup influencers
Yeah.
and like YouTube stars and comedians and things like that who get their start because of
With
user
YouTube.
content.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, either way, I'm pretty sure that this would be in an infancy stage if they're just now scooping like domain
yeah.
names
Right.
and stuff like that. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But definitely interesting to see that they're making these kind of moves
Right.
to kind of go back at YouTube.
Don't acquire companies that start from scratch.
You think so?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Why build from scratch when you can just rob and steal from Peter and Paul and just duplicate what they do?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, absolutely not.
Yeah, we see it all the time. But Lance, you missed it, but in the beginning, we just thanked everybody for coming to the holiday party. We Rachel and Sarah through an awesome time, It really,
Awesome time.
It was
Had
awesome.
by all.
Great time.
They did an incredible job putting together. Thanks everyone for coming. I'd like to thank my staff, our clients, for an incredible year. 2017 was amazing on the digital side, the tech side, the cabling side. We're growing. Our clients have been loyal to us. We love you. Thank you for everything. It wouldn't be possible without you. All of our employees here. We're about ready to start our holiday party here internal here in about 15 minutes. So much fun.
I'm hyped. Greatest time of the year.
So it's a good time of the year. I appreciate all our employees, what you do. And Jolynn, Scott, Sam, all our leadership team, I appreciate everything. And let's have an amazing 18. Enjoy your Christmas. We're allowed to say Merry Christmas. Okay?
Yes.
I feel pretty good about that because I grew up saying Merry Christmas.
It's the Yuletide.
It's the Yuletide. These guys will bust your chops here on this stage here. Thank you for all you guys that put Marketing Matters together every week. I know how hard you guys work.
Yeah.
And Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. And thanks to everybody here and all our people for everything you do.
Thanks,
Enjoy your
everyone.
holiday.